So if you try to grow your agency and you have a family, you have young kids, eventually you have a partner, then like you have specific challenges. Just this morning, I realized, because I also have a son, and let me talk about this a bit more in detail in the next minutes. I have a son and we needed to go to the doctor, right? And it was pretty urgent. So yeah, because he had something on his finger and it was really nasty. So we had to go there. And yeah, when I remember back in 2018, I would have had no chance at all, never ever, to decide one day before the doctor's appointment that I will take my son to the doctor, because I was fully booked out. I was constantly involved in everything, and literally I couldn't free up time for my family. I couldn't even free up time for myself. So there are a lot of challenges that you might see when you have a family and you want to grow your business. And I can totally understand the desire to grow an agency to the next level, to hit 100K revenue per month or even more, right? And I also had this desire for a long time, and I achieved this goal. My agency is doing right now 250K, sometimes 300K per month, right? But the difference today is that I can lead this business with just 1 hour per day, and it gives me the freedom and the time I need to care about my family. And back in the days, back in 2018, when everything depended on me and like we had no systems, nothing, and I was just constantly under stress and pressure. And some days my wife and my son, they didn't even see me, right? And so that was absolutely not how I wanted to be as a father, right? Luckily, today is a totally different time, and I want to share with you in this video how I have a lot more free time for my son, for my wife, also for my personal life, and to care about growing my business to the next level instead of just being involved in everything, service fulfillment and sales all day. So the big problem that comes with having a family and growing your agency at the same time is prioritization. That's all it comes down to, because you want to grow your family and you want to be there for your family, but in your business, everything screams all the time and you are just running around like a headless chicken, fighting the fires, handling the escalations, getting on calls with people, no matter if it's your team or your clients or eventually new clients, or you need to go to networking events, which is a total waste of time, right? That you could otherwise spend for your family or with your family. But if you have no systems, then, well, everything depends on you. So it always comes down to prioritization. And I found that I need to make put two things in my calendar. One is business time and one is my personal life. And from the moment you are able to separate this, you will be able to like give full attention to one thing and then next time full attention to the other thing. The hardest part for me, and what created most of my stress and prevented me from growing my business to the next level, was really that I was working and regretting that I'm not with my family. And when I was with my family, I was regretting that I'm not working, and I felt guilty and I had doubt that my business will ever be able to grow to the level where I want it to be to get the freedom and the wealth I want. But there were always these two things. Right. And when, yeah, as I said, my son, he has disabilities. He cannot talk. He cannot understand. He understands a bit, but I don't know. As he cannot talk, I don't know what he understands and what he doesn't understand. He cannot eat himself. He cannot walk. He cannot sit. So he's really disabled. He's a very lucky guy and he's really always in the moment. And he taught me that living in the present moment without thinking about the other things is really the key to building a big business and having a happy family, right? And I wanna just share that with you, because you see, I'm not just a person making things up. I have a son, and yeah, it's a son with special needs. So I think it's even more. It's harder to just like be with my son, have enough time with the son, and he needs a lot of my time because yeah, he's so helpless without his parents, right? So that's why my business needs to serve me and not I need to serve my business. So that's the other priority. When I realized I need to change something, that was in 2018. By the way, if you want to watch this TEDx talk when my business almost crashed against the wall and my wife was pregnant, feel free, right? feel free. You don't have to do the same thing, because I really made tabula rasa, as we say in Germany, to just clean up everything, because it was a total mess with 43 employees, and like, you don't want to get there, right? And if your business is smaller, make sure if you grow it, you grow the right way with systems and structures, instead of just growing it by adding more people that need more of your time every day, which is the most stressful thing you can do. Delegation is important, but delegation with systems, delegations with structures, and then automating what can be automated in the days of AI, where you can literally automate a lot. Okay, so let me talk about how I was able to step back from the business and grow it at the same time and just lead it with 1 hour per day, so that I really have the time for my family that they need and that I want. And it doesn't take years, right? I did it in, okay, I was a bit crazy in these days. I did it in a year, but then I decided to acquire another business and rebuild it, just to prove that it doesn't just work for my own business, but also for other businesses. And of course, that created a lot of stress, because it was the first time I did this acquisition, but it also worked, right? So what I did, and what I always do as a first step, is to look at the service portfolio, what you're selling with your agency, and make sure that you find out which services are really profitable and which just burn your money and your time. Typically, you find that just 20% of the services create 80% of your revenues or profits. I look at profits, right? So my main KPI is that I take the profits I earn and divide them by the hours I worked. So that's how I optimize my agency, okay? I don't care about headcount or revenue count or revenue growth. I just care about, in the first place, profits divided by hours worked, because that's the indicator of how much time I get from my business and how much money it makes me. So that's why we do it. That's why I do it, okay? So if you are in the situation where like everything depends on you, just check your offers. What are you selling? Which services do you sell, and how profitable they are? And which clients take how much of your time? So you have, instead of just having this KPI, profits earned by hours worked for your whole business, you create it per client, okay? Per client you have, okay, what's the revenue? What are the direct costs that I have to allocate in order to deliver the services? And how much time I am, or are you, involved to serve this client? And then you will see, you take the profits you make with this client, revenue minus direct fulfillment costs, and you divide it by the hours you have to work or spend on serving this client or supporting your team with this client, okay? This will give you a very good indication of how profitable each client is and how well each client serves you to build a business that serves you, so that you have more time for your family and for your private life, okay? Instead of just working in your business. I have a mentor, and she says, like, typically it's the business owner is the bitch of the business, but it should be the other way around, and I totally agree, okay? So once you have this list of clients and how profitable they are for your business, the next thing is to make a decision. To decide, for example, if you want to quit some clients. If they just create a loss financially and you have to spend so much time on serving them, disproportional to the other clients that make you more money, then it makes sense to just cut it, right? It's a waste. Get rid of this waste, or find a way to make it more efficient. Tell your client, hey, we just have a meeting once a month and you just get these services. The problem why this typically happens is because you either sell complex projects or retainers without specification, and then the expectations are not well set. Okay, and yeah, that is so important, that your scope, what you deliver, the services, what your clients get, and the whole service scope is explicitly defined. Not just you have a vision, an idea how it should be. It needs to be explicitly defined. It needs to be a contract, and it needs to be agreed with your clients, and your team needs to know it, because in the end, that's what they need to do. Then you don't have this back and forth all the time, where like you have to fight the fires, handle the escalations, and fix the failures, and then like talk to your clients because they are not satisfied, right? So this is typically what happens if you don't have a clear scope. So this is what I call a standardized offer. That's the foundation of your business. By the way, if you are interested in learning more about how to set up your agency, though, that it runs and grows and operates like a well-oiled machine, right? There are a lot of other videos in the Flash Up channel where I show you how this works, how to build a sales funnel, how to build a self-managing team, etc. Here I want to just talk about the overview, the blueprint, and how this impacts your life as a father or as a mother of a family, and if you have to take care of of kids, then this is the asset you need to build. Okay, it's really an asset. It needs your time to build it. It won't happen overnight. So let me talk about the next thing. How do you get 4 to 10 hours free time back in your calendar every week, just with what is called a personal leadership system? Look, in the beginning, I told you that it's all about prioritization. Okay. If you complain, oh, I don't have enough time, stop complaining, because you are just lying to yourself. You have the same amount of time that everyone else has, right? That's just a mindset shift you need to make in order to become the boss of your own time and priorities, and not just feel like a victim and you don't have enough time because others, they consume so much of your time. You get what you tolerate. So the first thing you should stop tolerating is being in meetings all day and being available all day, right? These channels that distract you and suck your time and energy, like communication by email, social media, that's the worst actually, chats, phone calls, switch it off. Allocate minimum 2 hours per day in your calendar where you work on your business to build assets, to automate workflows, to delegate work, to build structures. Okay. This will pay huge dividends in terms of getting you more money, because when you streamline the service fulfillment, you naturally have fewer mistakes. That needs fewer time from you or your team to fix them. And this results in less costs, which results in higher profits. Easy, isn't it? So that should be your priority. Put a time box in your calendar, 2 hours a day, right? Or every second day if you are fully underwater. But do that. And once you are done with this, now you structure your workday with other things that have a priority. And you just make it a standard that you stop working at, let's say, 5:30 or 6 p.m. Just make it a standard. And here's the rule. If you Google for Parkinson's law, it means that work always expands to the available resources, which means when you give work enough time, it will always expand until this time is used, or the same with money. So in other words, you need to limit the time you spend on a topic or on a task and get it done in this time. And if you are not able to complete it, no problem, you just complete it in the next time box of this category. And that's how you always make sure that you fully control your time, that you are the boss of your time. And your priorities are just like, it can be actually a physical list of priorities for a specific topic, or it can be in Trello or Jira, Asana, in any task management board. You have a column, right? One column per topic. For example, marketing is a column, management, client handling. They are all columns, and then you put time box in your calendar. And you, when the time box becomes active, you just go to the column and do the work. Okay, and then you just stop working, and when you didn't complete the work, then you didn't complete the work. But your highest priority is that you are the boss of your time and you have more time to care about your family and about growing your business. And the only way to do this is taking your time instead of lying to yourself that you don't have enough time, right? That's what you need to change inside yourself. Nobody else can do it. I hope I can influence that a bit by talking to you directly and clearly in this video. But again, it's up to you if you change that. If you start believing that you are in control of your time, that you just need to manage the work you do within the given time slot. And then you will have a much more relaxed life, because when you are in the time box, switch off all the distractions. And like when I'm creating this video and I would have my smartphone here, I would get notifications all the time if I wouldn't switch them off, which I do. Nobody can call me on the phone. It's always silent, right? But if you don't do this, you always get interrupted, and that's stressful. And then your productivity is even lower, which means you get less done, which means you need to spend more time at work. Okay, so this is your personal leadership system: time management, priority management, okay, with lists and time box in your calendar, and then structured communication. If you have a team or clients or other people who need your time box the communication. Put in your calendar communication time so they know when you are available, and then you are reliably available. If you stick to your calendar, they know, okay, it's 11 a.m. now, Manuel is available, we can have a call. Sure, can we have a call? I'm here for you. But besides these time boxes, I give other things my attention and my priority. And that's how you can really combine your ambitions to grow an agency or your business to the next level so that you make more money, but at the same time, have enough time for your family and give your family enough focus and enough time. And stop being pulled between family time and business time at the same time. This is because that's creating so much stress. And when you have too much stress, here's the next thing that will pop up in your life and ask you for your priority, and you have no control over that, which is your health. If you are just under stress all the time, your body will suffer. You will get small diseases, you will feel sick, you will become sick more often, more frequently. And if you do this for a long enough time, then you will eventually run into burnout. I have friends who experience this, and it's very painful. And then control will be taken, right? Then, like whatever it is, the universe, nature, your body, I don't know, takes over control and tells you, hey, this is now your priority. Care about yourself, or I will switch it off. Okay, I will pull the plug. And then the decision is made for you. But that's the most painful thing. So I would recommend that if you want to grow your agency to the next level and have a healthy family and a healthy life, you make these things priorities in your day, every day, instead of mixing it all up and having no attention and no focus for any of these. Now you had time to just let this sink and think about it. It will really change the game. And now when you have a more clear mind and you have more time and more attention and less stress, now you can build all these systems. It's not so hard. You standardize your offers, you build an automated sales funnel, right? Very straightforward. There are even AI tools. We have them if you want to implement a sales funnel and you don't have to recreate everything yourself. But that's only because I've standardized the way how we build funnels for clients in my agency. And then we've created an AI tool to speed up the process and decouple it from the time people work on the funnel, because the AI does it. Right? That's what I mean. You first need to be clear about what you do. Then you standardize it, basically what you do and the process how you do it. And then you can use AI and automation to free up a lot of your time, right? Or you delegate it to other people and spend money. That's how you buy back your time. But one or the other you have to do, otherwise you will have a business that just works against you. And then it's better to have a corporate job where you earn the same amount of money or eventually even more with a lot less stress and less work, right? But it starts with you understanding that you have to change the way you think about your time and the priorities you set for you, for your business, and for your family every single day. So if you are interested in like building these systems, in getting a sparring partner who went through everything that you want to go through, or you don't want to go through what I went through with all the trial and errors and failures and almost crashing my business and my life against the wall with a business that just had the wrong setup and was working against me. If you're interested in taking a shortcut, then below this video you can find a link. I show you another video that explains you basically how we set up everything and how these systems work. And if you want to implement it with my support, with support from my team, with like clear implementation guidelines to build up the systems and AI tools to speed it up, then yeah, just book a call, see if you qualify, if that works for you. And I would be very excited to see your smile on your face once you realize how much easier it can be to grow your agency without working endless hours and without being stressed and without sacrificing your family, right? Instead, I want you to have the wealth and the freedom you want. When you started your business, you had a clear idea how your business should look like and how your life should look like and what you want from this business, right? But if you are right now a bit further away from this goal and you want to bridge that gap and get faster to the result you are looking for, then I'm eventually sure that I can help you. But of course, I cannot promise. I first need to see who you are, what you're doing, what's your current bottleneck, in which situation you are, and then I can give you either my full confidence to work with you and build it all up, or tell you honestly that like this is not the right thing because you are in a different situation that I never went through, and then it makes no sense. Then you need to find somebody else, right? I will be very honest with this. Cool. So if you got value from this, if you like change the way how you think about growing your business and caring about your family and your personal life and your health, I would appreciate if you give me a like and subscribe if you didn't subscribe. And I will release 2 videos every week helping you grow your business much faster, more profitably, and with a lot less work thanks to using systems, automation, and AI. I'm looking forward to seeing you either personally or in the next video. Cheers and happy scaling.